could be driving, the light bulb in my bus would like explode, bus full of people, and the floor, nobody got hurt. The first time, how do you explain that? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, second time, so I get panicky.
Right.
Really, that's
Right.
So what do I do?
Well, not to reveal what we did personally, but remembering when we did, you had your consultation and we were talking. You got to remember you got a lot of Congo and African spirits around you that do stuff like that to get your attention.
I understand.
I don't know if you did anything with the orange and the blue with Tahuti, which because that's why we went on. There's not really so much what you can do about it, but remember I told you when you panic, your adrenaline kicks in, your hormones kick in, and you chase those spirits away. What's going on with you is you keep chasing them away, so they're constantly doing things to get your attention.
Yeah, but I'm at work.
Yeah, doesn't matter. But they don't care you're at work. Doesn't matter. No. What they're doing is, it's not because they're doing it intentionally because you're at work. There's stuff you're not doing on the side. They're trying to get your attention in your downtime and your privacy, and it's not working. So now they're trying to really get your attention at a critical time like that while you're working. You understand what I'm saying? I can't tell you per se if it can and will not stop, because it probably won't until you start spending more time with your spirits and propagating them. You understand? But I could tell you this is try not to get, I know it's like you say, it's in front of people, so it becomes a little bit rattling. I get that. But listen, I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. This back in 2004. I was driving a truck. And you're going to find this will happen. And this might happen to you. I was driving, and then I had no recollection of 35, 40 minutes. And I got to where I got, and I didn't even remember how I got there. So what happens is when you go into alpha state, sometimes they come to try to put you in an alpha brainwave state. And you get locked into this realm, nothing can happen to you. You won't get harmed. You won't get physical. Trust me when I tell you. I literally drove for 35, 40 minutes and had no recollection of when it happened. All I know is when I came out of it, I was where I needed to be, and I had no recollection of how I got there.
But how do you stop them from doing that?
You can't stop. What I'm trying to say is you don't want to, it's not that you want to stop them. What you need to do is propagate them and work with them. Because remember, they reach out to those that are so genetically close to them because you're their connection here. Some of them need to come here to still feel alive. So they connect with you. This is why when you look in a lot of those cultures and traditions, Yoruba, Santeria, there's a lot of physical offerings done. Like they say, give deceased relatives stuff they like when they were here. Like black coffee, a certain food, because that connects them to this realm. And you'll find there's always water connected with that, things of that nature, because it connects them to this realm. They need you to feel alive. You understand that? Believe me, they need you more than you need them. But when you're not paying attention to them, they can access higher energy to get that attention, such as smashing, light bulbs. That's a frequent thing when spirits come. I remember when we were on Miami Beach a couple years back and we had an Egoon party, and they started playing the drums for the ancestors. All the light bulbs in the tire, boom, 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 one after the other, just started busting. Well, might be to you at first. To me, that's normal. I mean, I see stuff like that. We sit there, we be like, the spirits are here. That's all it is. And if you think that's scary, not to scare people, and Norm tell you this, get mounted by a spirit. But I told you need to do that because, well, when you're ready, your spirit needs to be brought down, because the only way that you're going to have the full knowledge of it is to feel it and experience it. And once you do and you get past that fear, you're going to find out it's the most powerful and the greatest thing that could ever happen to you. Now, I've seen Norm's spirit come down out of Egoon Misa, mine, and mine's a warrior spirit. Like, I've come out of it, chairs all over the place, stuff, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Now, my spirit also, if you're a pedophile, it'll go right to you. And if you've ever done anything to harm kids, that spirit will go straight to you and call you out in front of everybody. And that's something I can't control. That's something that happens. It just happens. Not just sexual pedophilia. If you've done anything physically to harm children, because that spirit is a protector of children. So I may not have ever seen you a day in your life, but if you're in the room at that gathering and you've harmed children, when that spirit comes out, it's going to go to you. And you got to understand that it communicates regardless. So a lot of those spirits are aggressive because when they come, like for example, when we were talking about Baron Samedi, when we were dealing with the Vodun Pantheon, there's an aspect of Baron Samedi called Gidi, who sometimes if you have sexual hang-ups about yourself, he'll come and when he incarnates or mounts somebody, he'll tease you to make fun of you by way of sexual jokes or sexual things. Because one other thing that holds us back spiritually is most of us are not in tune with our real sexuality. And sex plays an important part in spirituality, not perversion sexuality. That's why we did a whole thing on tantric sex. So Gidi will deal with that when that energy manifests. And you'll find out tantric sex is important because most people, as we said in last class, don't really know what their partner likes and don't like because we never asked. Now, it don't mean that everything your partner likes that you're going to like, and that's okay, but you can agree to disagree. But if there's not open line of communication, then what tends to happen is you're going to find it somewhere else. I don't care who you are. Don't fool yourself. You don't have the greatest stuff. One thing I want to add real quick. We had a brother ask a question on the show Thursday night. Are there rituals one can do, sex magic rituals? Sure there are. And I gave an example. If, for an example, you're trying to obtain a house or you just opened a business and you want the business to flourish, there's a way both of you can get together. The man, when working tantric sex, the longer he retains the sperm is charged. It becomes potent with energy. The woman, and when the man and the woman can contain that orgasm and come together, you understand? And at that time of togetherness, visualize what they're trying to accomplish. That's one of the most powerful magic rituals you can do. But it has to be done at that time. There's also parts of the anatomy that can be stimulated between the vagina and the anal and the female to heighten those senses. I'm not going to get into all that here now. But I'm just saying, sex magic rituals are very key in relationships, very important, because you're going to find out there's an imbalancement there because most people don't know how to reenact that. Most us men are so stupid, we think, oh, not my woman, I'm knocking it down, I'm satisfying her on all levels. No, you're not. And the woman too. The woman thinks that I got the greatest stuff in the world. My man would never veer out and go anywhere else. That's not true. If you don't communicate, see, one thing in spirituality, sex is looked at as taboo. Yeah. And it shouldn't be, because it's key. When sex comes up, people get all tense and hot in the collar. And it's a part of our nature, because sex can either destroy you or can either bring you up. Because when it becomes an addiction that you can't control, now it becomes a disease. Do you understand? Because now it can destroy your spiritual path. But when used in a productive light, it can be very powerful and magical. You understand? But like I say, when you're ready, believe me, because we know what needs to be done, but I would never force you. You need to feel comfortable doing that.
So are they going to keep doing that until...
You have no choice, because your father, Raymond, correct? Was it Raymond or Ray? Because when you were here, remember when you sat here the first time you ever came to this class, you sat down there, your father was standing right next to you in full Voodoo priest regalia. He had the implements on and everything, and was happy that you finally made a decision to open up your consciousness and come here. I understand what's going on with your mom. That's your cousin back there. That's right. I know your cousin very well.
I gotta take them.
You got to understand, no matter how far you try to run from it, you couldn't run from it if you wanted. They'd find you anyway. And you were sanctified Christian for most of your life. So it doesn't matter. You could be Christian your whole life. I had a lady that called in the show Thursday night, and she did a ritual with Papa Legba, and she been holy Christian her entire life, and she did the ritual one time and it worked. Now that doesn't work for everybody. The reason why is because she was so strongly connected to it by blood, just like you are. You could be a Christian for the rest of your life. That's still going to follow you, because there's such a strong energy connection to it. You can't run from it if you wanted to. Now, things that you couldn't explain are explainable now. Trust me when I tell you. Go ahead, brother. I know you had a question.
Yeah, I just want to share my little story where you were talking about your driving and an absence of about 4 hours just went from you. I was riding a motorcycle once, 28 years ago, and I fell in a pothole.
Is this here?
No,
in America or Jamaica?
It was in Jamaica. And I was looking for the bruise, and I was looking for the concussions and everything.
Nothing.
And I found myself along the path.
And no scratch on you.
I stopped and I say, thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
No. Yeah, right. At that time, probably, right? No, but there's a classic point. When you reach that, when you hit that subjective realm and you outside a person, place, and thing, you're not subject to physical laws no more. Because remember, there's the laws that govern nature and spirituality, and then there's human laws. Two totally different things. So what that happens is, and it's activated by an alpha state. You hit alpha state all the time. When you daydream, you're in alpha state. When you're driving, and all of a sudden you're driving, and you start thinking about what I'm going to do later, what happened last night, or you're thinking about some female, that's alpha state. You want to know how powerful that is? We all can time travel. I did this. I've done this. I'm doing it to somebody new. Who here I am, never done this. Okay. Name a song that you like.
A song that I like.
I'm talking about something that goes back, not a current song that's out now. A song that holds significance to you over the years. Anything. R&B song, whatever.
Okay, you want me to tell it to you?
Yeah, give me the name of the song.
Summer Breeze.
Summer Breeze. Okay, good song. I like that song too.
Makes me feel
Right, good song. All right, now watch this. Let me show you how the subconscious mind works. Summer Breeze. Now, you just said Summer Breeze. Do you remember the first place you were? Where was the first, recollect when the first time you heard that song?
I was a child in my living room.
In the living room. What else was in the living room?
Furniture.
Furniture. Can you see the furniture, like, in detail? Good. Was your mother and your father there?
My mom was in the kitchen.
What was your
I
mom?
can remember back to when I was 2 years old, 2.5 by away. Okay.
That's
so
good.
I remember a lot of stuff.
Okay. So, the first time you heard it was there. Now, other memories with that song. Was it out with friends? Give me some other
I
times.
was by myself.
Okay, so that's your strongest recollection. What you basically just did was time travel right in front of everybody. Because music, sound, and vibration is one key to opening up that porthole in dimension. So when you hear that song, you're able, just by saying it, you didn't even hear the sound yet of it, but I guarantee you, if you play that song, it's easy just to snap, go right back to that moment in your living room, to the point it's so vivid with the image, you can see the furniture, you remember your mom being in the kitchen. That is going back in time, being able to travel. Now, how you fix the trauma on your subconscious mind is the same way. A lot of us are dealing with traumas that have impacted our subconscious mind, and we haven't addressed it yet. And this is why I use that example. Music is a powerful key. Some of us don't realize it's affecting our growth now. We might have got bullied as kids. We might have got abused, not just sexually, but physically, verbally, by our parents. Now, let me give you an example. I used this one last time. You might have been a kid out on the basketball court, and you were playing with kids, and you were wide open to take that last shot, and you got bypassed for that last shot. And you don't realize emotionally something so minor like that has left an impact on your subconscious mind, trauma-wise. The same thing, your dad might have treated you bad. He talked to you disrespectfully, said a lot of mean things to you. And you think it's not affecting you now. You say, no, that was when I was a kid. But remember, the subconscious mind operates off the conscious. And we're not always aware of what the subconscious mind is evolving. So now, the same way you're able to travel back when you hear that song, I tell people before you can astrally travel and go to those higher realms, you have to go back to those moments in time and change the outcome. You understand that? So basically, let me give you an example. If that was you on that court and you got so bummed out because you didn't get the winning shot and you got passed over, you were wide open, you need to go relive that event and take the shot and hit it. And then you're able to release that trauma. It's the same thing. If there was something you didn't get communicated to your father and say he passed away and he did something to you that bothered you, he said something to you, you need to go back to that exact moment in time and relive the incident but change the outcome. That's step one on working greater black magic. You have to be able to go back in time and repair trauma on the subconscious